Stand by for my spoiler-free review of The Girl on the Train, coming right up. The Girl on the Train, a psychological thriller directed by Tate Taylor based on a best-selling novel by Paula Hawkins. It stars Emily Blunt, Justin Theroux, and a cadre of other actors. This movie is being billed as this year's version of Gone Girl. And I would like to say from the start, it wishes it was as good as Gone Girl. There is an introduction. The first act is all set up with Emily Blunt. Now she definitely moves this. She is the main character, more screen time than anybody else by far. And she is definitely pouring her heart and soul into this performance of an alcoholic divorcee who is, riding the train every day and making up stories about the people that she's sort of, semi-stalking as she watches, them go by every day between her trips from her home to the big city, Manhattan, and then back home at the end of the day. And she's just living in this fantasy world, and you're sort of thrown into the middle of this, and then things start happening that start questioning the nature of her reality and what's going on for real, because it shifts about halfway through the movie into this murder mystery, from this psychological question, what's going on, to, whoa, there's a dead body here, what happened? And I guess the idea is you're supposed to sort of wonder, what are Emily Blunt's real backstory and present story, because she drinks so much, she has these blackouts, she can't be trusted, and this is all set up, she can't really trust herself, and okay, fine. But because of the nature of a thriller and the nature of the setup, that you can't really trust everything you're seeing. Actually, right from line one, it starts hinting at that with her and her overactive imagination. I wanted to like this movie. I knew going in that there were going to be twists, and not knowing precisely the nature of them, knowing that they were going to be there, I was expecting a lot better and a lot more out of this. The commercials and the previews and whatnot paint this out to be this dark, complex, what's going on with this crazy lady? Did she kill her? Did she not? What's happening? This whole obsessive thing that Emily Blunt's character has going on. But I was never really drawn into that through the narrative of the story. I was just kind of waiting for, okay, where are the reveals? And I'm not going to spoil any of it for you. I'll just say that as the movie goes, it gives you a piece, and then you watch some, and then it gives you another piece, and then you watch some more, and then it gives you another piece, and it just doles these out until it gets to, about the last 15 minutes of the movie where it's all laid out for you. It's an hour and 52 minutes of this. That is a long movie to be dragging out bit by bit, piecemeal, giving you the answers to the questions that it sets up in the first act. This movie tries to go along in the tradition of the best Hitchcock thrillers, or Gone Girl or something like that, where you're propelled along by the mystery of wanting to know what's going to happen, but it doesn't really work out so well. Now, one of the big problems with this movie, and the reason that it drags so badly and doesn't really get you involved in the action of it, is because there are three main female characters. It's not just Emily Blunt's character, which is named Rachel. There's also Megan, who is this woman that that Rachel has set up as sort of this perfect woman that she's been looking at, on the train. And then there's Anna. And Anna is married to to Rachel's ex-husband. And Rachel's ex-husband and Anna had an affair while Rachel was still married to her. So she's set up as an unsympathetic character from the get-go. So none of these people are people you particularly like or want to be around or want to have much to do with. Thus, you don't care about them. And I'm not spoiling anything by telling you this is all set up within the first bit of the movie. But But I found that because I didn't care about these characters, because I didn't care about where they'd been, what was happening with them, or where I didn't care where they were going. And so that was a bit of a drain for me. And again, an hour and 52 minutes of this, I need to care about what's going on. I cared about what answers were being doled out because I kept waiting for answers to come that I thought would get me into a place where I would care more about these people. But I never really got there. There are attempts in the third act to give you things from these women's past that make them, more sympathetic, but by then it's too late. So why would I recommend seeing this? Well, I'm afraid that I can't. This movie is getting a rating from me of pretty bad. It's not a total horrible. I mean, there were good things in this movie. The performances were decent enough, and especially Emily Blunt. I will say that while there are scenes of overacting, for sure, with the alcoholism and whatnot, she did a decent job. She's certainly the one carrying this movie, and there's enough interest in her, in trying to figure her out and why she's such a wreck, that it does bring you along with that. But otherwise, not so much. And so unless you're really into Emily Blunt as an actress, or you're really into psychological thrillers and the characters don't matter that much to you, and you're just really into the mystery of trying to figure things out, I really can't recommend seeing this movie. So there's my review, and thank you for watching.